and welcome to episode 11 of Movies and Us. I'm TJ.
And I am Marcus.
Oh, God. And this is the review show that reviews genre movies from the beginning, sometimes, kind of, sort of, whatever the tagline is, as we go into 1987 Superman 4.
The Peace 4.
I think that's what it's called. I think that's what it's called at all.
The Peace for Quest. Yeah, it's the quest for peace, people.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, I can read sometimes.
Sometimes. Anyway, this was an hour and 30-minute movie. It was directed by Sidney J. Fuhrer, produced by, Manaheim, Golan, and Yoram Globus. Screenplay by Lawrence Connor, Mark Rosenthal. Story by, apparently, Christopher Reeve.
No way.
Christopher Reeve, Lawrence Connor, and Mark Rosenthal. And, of course, it was starring Christopher Reeve, Gene Hackman, Jackie Cooper, Mark McClure, John Cryer, Sam Winemaker, Jim Broadbent, Muriel Hemingway, and Margot Kidder. I was waiting for Margot Kidder. I don't know why she was at the bottom. Let's see. This movie was a $17 million budget and apparently made $36 million worldwide. It doubled its money back.
Yeah, because it made 15 in America, 21 in internationally. So that's not terrible.
But it's the lowest it made a Superman movies made. So
yeah,
it's also, according to the Wikipedia page, because that's where we get all our information.
And IMDb sometimes.
Sometimes, but we don't have no official sources. Superman 4 has often been named one of the worst films ever made.
Which, that really surprises me.
Why is that?
I don't think it was that bad.
Yeah, but if you're graded on a scale on Superman movies...
Well, even... I'm trying to think of the ones we've seen. I'm trying to think of the ones we've seen.
You're gonna finish your sentence there?
I don't think it was that bad. It was bad, but it wasn't, like, the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, apparently, where was it? John Cryer, the guy who plays Lex Luthor's nephew, was told by Christopher Reeve that this movie was going to be terrible.
From what I've read, I feel like Christopher Reeve pulled a lot of people to the side and said that to them.
Yeah, he did not like this movie very much. Apparently, he thinks it ruined his career a little bit.
Well, from the beginning, originally, Wes Craven was supposed to direct the film, but even those two clashed, was Christopher Reeve and Craven.
Yeah.
They didn't like each other, so Wes Craven had to leave the projects.
Yeah, here's the quote I was looking for. Reeve regretted his decision to be involved with the film, saying, Superman 4 was a catastrophe from the start to finish. The failure was a huge blow to my career. And apparently, there were plans to make a Superman 5, but it never came to fruition.
It never made Superman 5 because Christopher Reeve had a terrible accident.
So, I guess we should get this started then, huh?
No, before we keep going, let's go back to the box office real quick. In total, this grossed, $36 million or so?
36.7 million.
Yes. This year, the top box office... number 5 was 3 Men and a Baby at $70 million.
By this year, by this year, he needs 1987. That's what he needs.
But yeah, by the year 1987, the top 5 box office movies was 3 Men and a Baby at $70 million, The Untouchables at $76, Fatal Attraction at $125 million, Platoon at $136, and Beverly Hills Cop 2 of $153 million. And down at 73rd place is Superman 4 with its $36 million. But yeah, I just want to get that out there.
Yeah, you got that out there, alright? No one cares.
Well, they should care, because what else came out that year? A lot of good movies that we're not talking about today. RoboCop, Predator, Lethal Weapon, Stakeout, Dirty Dancing, guys, come on. Full Metal Jacket. I'm going down the list right now. Spaceballs, Star Trek 4, The Voyage from Home, we don't talk about that movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Running Man, Lost Boys, Princess Bride, Eddie Murphy Raw, wow.
I promise you, we will talk about Superman 4 eventually.
Little Shop of Horrors, guys. 1987 was a year for movies. Yeah, some good stuff came out that year.
Yeah, well, good movies came out every year in the 80s. That's what the 80s were.
Three Amigos, I like that movie. Hellraiser. We should continue before I keep going down this.
Are you done? I'm waiting for you to finish. I'm
waiting for you to move us along. This is your episode, man.
I know, but I want you to get it out of your system now so that we don't have to worry about it later.
No, Teen Wolf 2. Yeah, I'm good, man.
Are you sure? Because you really are, like, drooling over this box office stuff.
Nah, I'm good. We're good. Let's get it on, guys. Heat came out this year. What? No way. Not that Heat.
Again,
Different Heat. Okay.
1987, not the year we're in. Because he doesn't know how to use proper nouns instead of pronouns, you know.
I don't read too well. No, I don't read so good, guys.
Anyway, we start in space!
Space.
With discount credits.
Although, to be fair, I guess these credits actually had a good background because they were over, I guess, Earth.
Yeah, but it was like a faded picture of Earth.
Yeah. Which is funny because I have in my notes, like, after the credits rolling, that special effects aren't bad yet.
No, they were pretty bad. Although I will give them, they did get the Superman credits right because we sat there for 3 minutes listening to them.
You always count, and I love it.
Because it takes forever.
They do. And it's just static.
Not only does it take forever, they usually cut down to Earth after the credits, but this time we stay in space as we're introduced to a Russian space station.
This is what I was saying. The special effects weren't bad because it seemed like good high quality camera work, right? Looks pretty clear.
Well, the miniatures and the practical effects were fine.
Yes.
It was the special effects that were shit.
Yes.
That's why I said the discount credits. Anyway, so we're in a Russian space station, and I guess space debris just crashes in the space station in space because it just came out of nowhere, like a car accident, and hits the space station.
I feel that's a running theme throughout this whole movie. Just things happen out of nowhere, not much explanation, and then things stop sometimes without much explanation.
So one of the astronauts gets knocked into space, but then Superman shows up and saves them. But, you know, before I get into what I'm going to get into next, in every movie, Superman does not need to breathe in space.
What do you mean?
We never brought this up, but he always is just able to go to space without any issues.
Well, that's always been his thing, isn't it? Like, isn't that part of the lore, or no?
Not always. Sometimes the lore is different.
Yeah.
But I'm bringing it up specifically in this one because it's going to matter later.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But anyway, so Superman not only saves the Russians, but he speaks Russian. I think Superman's a commie.
Why? Because he's got a red cape and speaks Russian?
Yeah, he's a commie and he's saving Russians. He's a communist.
As stated later, he's a citizen of the Earth. He speaks multiple languages, which I thought, honestly, was a nice take.
I got that written down later.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not there. Yeah. Right now, he's a commie, all right?
He's a commie. Okay, whatever. I'll go along with this. Yeah, him speaking Russian, like, oh, that's different. I like this.
Anyway, we finally go get to Earth, and we're in Smallville.
Back in his hometown.
Yep. Apparently, he's selling the farm.
Yeah, I was kind of sad about this.
Yeah, there's a kind of a sad moment, and it goes to where his ship was, you know, buried in the barn, and he takes out a crystal. But the narration's by the mother and not the father.
Yes.
So I guess they couldn't get Marlon Brando's voice from the first movie.
He had issues behind the scene, Marlon Brando, with the director, and fighting over the rights and all that. So probably the same thing happened with this one.
Right, I understand that, but some of the dialogue is exactly the same from the first movie. In that,
yeah,
they have the mother, and it was like, oh, it seems off because you hear that same speech from Marlon Brando in the first one. It just doesn't fit continuity-wise, and I mean, I get they couldn't do it. It was just weird.
Very weird. And you just brought up a good point, though, before this. The spaceship's in the barn hiding and everything, and he's selling the farm. Why is that still there, the spaceship?
Well, that's why he's there, to make sure the spaceship isn't there anymore.
Is he moving? He didn't move it, does he, in his movie?
It disintegrates. You didn't see him disintegrate after he takes the crystal?
No.
Yeah, it disintegrated.
What? Superman's
got a lot of weird powers in this movie.
Did he disintegrate, or did it just disintegrate?
I don't know if he did it, because I never know if he's doing something or if things just happened.
That's fair. I did not notice that at all.
But yeah, but it disintegrated. Oh, you know what's funny? There's all kinds of weird stuff in this, but his magic suit doesn't make an appearance in this one.
Yeah, well, I hope we were talking about that. I was waiting for that moment to happen. Never happened.
Yeah, not in this one.
No. Oh, yeah, it is disintegrating. Weird. How did I miss that?
Yeah, it was very strange. But anyway, the mother's telling him how this crystal can only be used once to restore his powers, or when he loses them, or when he's hurt or something. Why he didn't use it in Superman 2, I don't know, but
Because convenience.
yeah.
Movie's
Anyway,
got a movie.
In the mother's narration, we get the return of Krypton.
Krypton.
Instead of Krypton,
Krypton.
You ruined my joke. Thanks. So we cut over to prison, where Lex is working off his prison sentences.
And this is the same prison, I guess. Is it the same prison from... No, it wouldn't be the same prison, because we would have seen Otis.
Well, he's probably put back in prison after Superman 2, which is a different prison that he escaped from.
Oh, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
So, he's, they have him outside the prison, first of all, which is stupid. He's
they're doing manual labor, that's why.
Yeah, but he's Lex Luthor.
Yes.
So, and he's already escaped prison once. He should be in high security, not out of prison, but I digress.
And not only is he Lex Luthor, but he's also being patrolled by idiotic prison guards.
I was about to say that. They only have 2 guards working out there with them.
Yeah.
And anybody can just drive up, which happens because Lex Luthor's nephews drive up in this souped up car with I guess it's supposed to be a great radio.
Yeah, I wrote down in my notes, it's called the Sensor 100 car, I think. It's ugly as hell, guys.
Anyway, apparently it's a great stereo system, and Lex's nephew, we don't know it's his nephew at the time, but he invites the guards to get in and listen. They're like, really? And they get in, and then the nephew has a remote control, which he uses to lock the cops in the car and then running off a cliff.
You would think the cops die in this crash, because it's a far, big cliff, and the car's going upside down, so it's going to land on the hood.
I was actually surprised that the car went off the cliff and exploded. I thought those cops were dead. I was like, wow, that was really dark for a Superman 4 movie. But no,
that's what I said.
They show them up. They show them crawling out later, all blown up. They're fine because this is a cartoon.
Yeah, but this point in the movie sets the tone for sure. 'Cause I even wrote my notes. Luthor gets away. ... Murder ? That was really, like you said, really dark.
We cut over to the Metropolis, where Lois and Clark are getting in onto the subway.
The Metropolis is actually the NYC skyline, guys. New York City skyline.
Canon Films apparently was pinching pennies left and right, so...
Yeah, they were.
But, so, Lois and Clark are trying to get a subway, and because Clark's Clark, he misses the subway, which doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Now that I'm thinking about it. Because Superman only pretends to be clumsy, right?
Yes.
There is no way Superman would miss the train.
In this instance, no. But it had to happen story-wise just because peril.
Right. But he wouldn't... There was no reason for him to miss the train.
No, not at all.
So it doesn't make sense that he would purposely do it. So but then it's an accident, but there's no way Superman would miss that train.
Again, it's just the movie has to movie. Lois has to get in trouble for some reason, and Superman's got to save her, so that's how they did it.
Anyway, the Metropolis needs to scan their drivers for trains a lot better because apparently their driver has a heart attack and dies.
Is that what it was? I thought he just fell over or something and bumped the thing.
I just assume that's what happens because we never see that guy again.
No.
And unless he just fell asleep at the wheel, in other case, they really need to up their hiring program because someone could just fall asleep at the wheel and be okay with it. So the train doesn't have a driver. I don't know why this is such a big deal. I mean, maybe I'm missing something because wouldn't it just drive to the end of the track?
My very limited knowledge on train stuff, I believe there's a dead man switch. So let's say the conductor had a problem like that. And their hand's always on the switch. So let's say they had a problem and they fall off of it, it'll slowly slow down and stop, I believe.
Yeah, but even so, even if it was a runaway train, right, and it was going that fast, I don't think those trains slow down except for when they get to stop. So would it really make that much of a difference?
It depends. Again, I don't know, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a minor point. I'm just curious. But anyway, Superman shows up in front of the train and uses telekinesis to stop it, I think.
His magical abilities in this movie.
Because he doesn't, put his hands on the train to stop it. He gets in front of it and looks at it, and it just stops.
Yeah, it's weird thinking about it.
But this is after he gets changed in a phone booth, of course.
Oh, well, he does, actually. He stands on the third rail, I guess electrifying rail, and takes the energy out of it.
Is that what happens?
That's what it looks like. Yeah, like he zaps himself and like slows down. I don't know.
Well, it looks
Bad movie
like
logic.
It looks like he uses telekinesis and stops it. All right, we cut to the Daily Planet.
And this is where I thought was weird. This movie is like, compared to the other Superman movie we've had so far, this movie is very fast paced because they'll do a scene, trouble happens, it's resolved, next scene. Something happens, it's resolved, next scene. There's not a lot of time to breathe in this movie, which I think is a benefit to it, which makes it an hour and a half, which I totally enjoy. But that just wasn't.
Even though it doesn't feel like an hour and a half, but go ahead.
It doesn't feel like an hour and a half at points, but it is an hour and a half technically, so there's that. I just want to say it's a fast-paced movie.
So the Daily Planet has a new owner. I didn't catch his name. But him and his daughter are going to turn the Daily Planet into a journalist, haven, into a tabloid rag, essentially, is what we're getting here.
Yeah, because that's what sells nowadays.
Yeah, because the Daily Planet hasn't made money in 3 years.
Which I will find it hard to believe, honestly.
I did too in the 80s. I mean, nowadays it makes sense, but...
Yes.
But as they're talking about budget cuts and stuff like that, we get a report from the President of the United States. I don't know what president it is, actually.
No, we should Google that.
1987? Wasn't it Bush in 87?
Yeah, I think... No, yeah.
I think
1987.
It was Bush
President.
Senior.
I believe you're right. No, it's Ronald Reagan. Ugh.
Was it still Reagan at the time?
Bush became president. When the hell did he become president? Bush became president in 1989.
Anyway, apparently Robert Beatley played the U.S. president in this one.
Who the hell's Robert Beatley?
I don't know.
Why you bring him up?
Because I'm crediting the guy who actually plays him.
Well, why not credit everybody in this whole movie then?
Because it wasn't actually Ronald Reagan who was the president on the movie. That's the reason. I wanted to make sure everyone was clear.
That's fair. Beatley?
Yeah, apparently he was in 2001: A Space Odyssey, 1968.
No way.
Apparently. And the Pink Panther Strikes Again. And Superman 3.
What, really?
And The Murder on the Orient Express, 1985.
Wow, this is a bad podcast. We're just talking everything about this movie.
I don't think that makes it a bad podcast. I'm just saying. You asked me who Robert Beatley was. I was telling you who he was. He also was in the new Avengers.
Stop. Wait, the
TV
new one
show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's apparently a pretty famous actor.
Oh, it's Betty. Beatty.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You say it again.
Robert Rutherford Beatty.
You were saying Beatley with an L.
No, I wasn't.
Whatever.
You're just hearing things.
Yeah, well,
and even if I was saying Beatty, you didn't know who I was talking about anyway.
No, he was also in Labyrinth, okay? Get it right, man. Well, he was in Labyrinth.
See Labyrinth.
Wow. I'm on IMDb right now.
Okay, anyway, can I get back to the president? It's important. He's got an announcement to make.
Yeah, go for it.
Apparently, their peace summit failed. And so, they can't fall behind, and they must make more nuclear warheads and missiles. Because, it's the end of the world.
Yeah, man. We got war cells.
This is a stupid plot point.
It is, isn't it? I mean, I guess it gets to where it's going, but it's really dumb.
I mean, even if the peace talks did fail, now everyone's going to all of a sudden shoot nuclear missiles at each other.
Yeah, I saw that, right? I was thinking, actually, when we get to the point we get to that, I was just thinking, like, Superman does his thing, and they all decide to shoot it into space, and so he can take him, I guess.
Yeah.
That was my logic. Because they don't really explain what's going on.
No. Not in the first, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut from the Daily Planet watching the president to these kids in class with bad voice acting talking about what they would do, what they should do, what they can do to help with the nuclear crisis. And the teacher's funny. She said, write your congressman, like that does anything. Even the kids in the movie know that doesn't work.
Like, come on, teach. Another kid says, no, who should write? One kid says, who, Santa Claus? He's like, no, dimwit. Superman. He could do something, obviously.
So, apparently Superman's hair is on display in a museum, in a weird museum. I don't know what kind of museum this thing is.
Well, it looks like a normal museum, but they have a exhibit for Superman. So it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, but it has, like, statues of people and poses and shit.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. There's, like gymnasts and, like, athletes. I guess, like, to show off a physical body, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know.
And
but,
to be fair, later on, this is not the last word statue we'll see. We'll get to that later.
But yeah, so his hair is on display because he donated it to this museum. Apparently, it can hold up, what was the weight? 1,000 pounds?
Yep, 1,000 pounds.
1,000-pound weight that looks like a comic cartoon dumbbell.
Yes, something you saw in the Batman movie we reviewed.
But, so they're displaying it, and then Lex Luthor comes in broad daylight.
Yep.
Smashes the glass.
Yep.
And just takes it. No one stops him. Nothing happens. He just does it.
And he just walks out. Him and his his nephew, I guess, yeah.
None of the other characters in this world are even worth anything. They do nothing.
No, they're NPCs that just don't know how to NPC properly. They're just there waiting for cues.
Exactly. So back to Daily Planet, Lacey, the new owner's daughter, lays on a table seductively as Clark walks in and starts flirting with him.
Yeah. Now, I really like this character, like her story arc and like her purpose. But I did like that she was actually attracted to Clark, not knowing.
That I thought the same thing. I liked the fact that she liked Clark Kent and not Superman.
Yes.
She was more interested in him as a person. Because as a person, he's a decent guy. Why wouldn't anybody like him,
Exactly. So the way like Lois treats him is like, I mean, I get it. She treats him like a friend, but like she doesn't even give him the time of day or anything at all.
Right, which it's because she's so obsessed with the overpowered superhero god.
Exactly.
I mean, to be fair though, she's kind of a rich snob, and so maybe she deals with Superman type all the time. Those full of themselves people. Maybe a normal person was what she wanted.
That too. She also says later she always falls for the jerks and the bad guy, like quote unquote bad guys. So that does make more sense.
Yeah. Anyway, a letter comes for Superman. I guess because his mail gets delivered to the Daily Planet.
Weird.
A little bit, yep. But it gets delivered to the parent, and it's a letter from that kid Jeremy, asking him to take care of the nuclear crisis.
Yes.
I'm not going to comment on that until later, so we're going to move right on.
Why?
You'll see when we get there. The owner's daughter, her name's Lacey, I think.
Again, I'm not good with names, so blonde daughter.
So Lacey hears the letter, and she's like, "Ooh, we're gonna exploit this kid and make him a celebrity." She doesn't say that, but that's what they do.
Yeah. She said, I believe, like there's an angle to this, or like there's a reason why the kid's doing it. I forget what the word is.
Right, and then I laughed because they showed the headline.
Yes.
The Superman tells the kid to drop dead.
Yes. And
I laughed out loud. It was so stupid. But I love that headline. Superman tells kid drop dead.
Yeah. And this is where I was gonna have an egg suck joke. Superman tells kid to suck egg. That was my joke there, but
anyway, Superman goes to the fortress
of Solitude.
And to get advice from dead Kryptonians who just like to repeat themselves like cartoon characters from Labyrinth.
Yeah, that was weird, right?
Right. He's like, should I do something about this nuclear crisis? And they're like, no. If you get the people to depend on you, they learn how to be betrayed. Which
was very.
First off, what the hell is this? Why?
I was even thinking, like, why is this even, like, queued up as a possible response to this question?
Right. Why did they record that?
Yeah. Because the guy's literally staring in the camera. Betrayed. Like, not even on repeat, just saying it, like, multiple times. So dumb.
Anyway, Clark's having a hard time with everything that's happening, trying to decide what to do. Should he get involved? So Lois shows up at his place, because they have a dinner. And so he grabs her hand and he walks her off a roof and they commit suicide. The end.
Yeah, that's what... It was the saddest thing. Now, I wrote that in my notes too. I wrote down Clark's suicide, Superman fly with Lois? ?
No, he doesn't. They don't commit suicide. He's Superman. He catches her and they do a whole repeat of the first movie where they fly through the city.
Yep. Fly throughout the world, over horses running, etc., etc. We've seen it before. We've seen it so many times before. We don't care.
Except he tries to kill her this time by letting her go.
Which, again, it defies, like, the physics in these movies kill me, because he lets her go and she, like, flies a little bit by herself. Like, what?
They get back to the balcony, and he's like, so he reveals his identity to Lois again.
Yes.
And he's like, you don't even know my name. She's like, I remember everything. So that mind wiping kiss is shitty and doesn't work. But yeah, he does it again.
Yes.
And I was thinking about it. So he kisses her again and wipes her memory again. I think Superman just assaulted Lois Lane.
Again. He's like, oh, you remember? I do it again.
Yeah, like, I mean, that one was even more, because the first time it's like, you can argue maybe it's for the good of the world, you know, secret identity and stuff. But no, he just needed some advice, and he was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna wipe your memory again.
Yeah, because he's like, I need advice, let me show you who I am, gets the advice, and just kisses and let you forget everything.
Right. It was the really, like, there was a lot of ridiculousness in it, and all throughout all these movies. But that moment, I actually had to stop and think. It's like, that's really messed up.
Yeah, it was very questionable. Like, I don't like this.
Yeah, I was a little weirded out.
It was even weirder that it actually worked this time, too. Like, yeah, this is working.
And maybe it's on, like, some kind of time delay or something.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Anyway, the Daily Planet's still exploiting this kid, Jeremy, as Jimmy Olsen's taking pictures of him around the city with different people. So this Jeremy's kid is in Metropolis without his parents, apparently.
Yeah, you never see his parents once, do you?
Or he's, like, completely unsupervised with these bunch of these strangers. And this is the last time we're going to see a Jeremy, because Superman shows up and says, come on, Jeremy, we're going to go address the world. What? And he just walks into, like, the world, you know, that...
The United Nations, I guess.
Yeah, the UN, where they're already just happen to be all in session.
Yeah, they're all in session. I guess that's the thing about this movie. Things happen, and I guess like there's more detail, like more story to it, but they don't show you or tell you it because they're all waiting for him. There's a crowd following him because like I guess everyone knew he was doing this speech.
Right, I guess. I don't know, or maybe he just showed up and said, "I'm doing this speech," because he walks into it and he says, "Can I make a speech?" And they say, "I don't know. Do you have someone who can, you know, vouch for you?" And then all the country representatives raise their hands.
Yes.
And so he makes this speech declaring he's going to get rid of the world's nuclear missiles. And I wrote, and this is how democracy ends, with applause.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, Star Wars. Who
the are you to decide that you're going to take these people's missiles, and there's no way in hell every country on Earth decided that they were just going to do this.
Right after years of negotiations and talks, him walking in, saying this is going to happen, they think, okay. And then he
not only years of talk, but a failed peace summit that was announced earlier in this same movie.
Yes. It makes no sense. And then he does it, and they're all cool with it. There should be wars breaking out. They should be, like, damning him, condemning him. Like, he should be, like, public enemy #1 for most countries.
Right. He should be having to go to each of these countries when he declared that and ripping these nuclear missiles out.
Yes. Like honestly, a World War III should have broken out, because, like, there would have been hell.
Or the country should have united in destroying Superman.
Yes. Like, there's so many possible ways this could have been a better movie, more entertaining. There's no way these people would have rolled on their backs. Like, yeah, just take the missiles, I guess. Or, like, there's just so much more they could have done with this.
Yeah, it really felt like the Emperor taking over in those bad Star Wars prequels.
But even worse than that, too. Like,
yeah, I was like, wow. Yeah. I mean, and I've seen this movie before, but I guess I was really young when I think I saw this, and I didn't really pick up on the context of everything.
Okay.
But yeah, it was kind of insulting, actually.
Very insulting. Like, so you're saying there was, like you said, there was failed negotiations. Yeah, he could just walk in, get all the nukes, and get out, and like, no, it's just no one's fighting. What?
All right,
let's continue.
So, all the nations are firing rockets into space, so Superman can catch them and put them in a giant net.
Yeah, he has a net ready for it, and it's outside of space.
I don't think Superman's the right man for this job, because if that's the best he can come up with, I'm gonna put them all in a net and then throw them into the sun. That's my plan. What happens if you accidentally blew up the sun?
I was even thinking, like, what happens if you accidentally, like, blow up the net? They weren't even a safe distance from the Earth, so there could be, like, radioactive fallout or something. It was
Right.
just a bad plan from beginning to end.
I maybe it's a little ridiculous that he would be able to blow up the sun with it. But what happens if the explosion was enough to knock the sun out of orbit and just screw up everything?
Yes, because I was gonna research how many nuclear weapons we had at the time, but we had to have enough to like. If you threw all of them into the planet to the sun at one time, there had to be some drastic side effect to that.
Yeah, I don't know. This whole scene was ridiculous, and it's the premise for the entire rest of the movie.
Yes, and the saddest part about it, that's not even the most ridiculous thing in this movie.
No,
Right?
no. Anyway, we cut back to Lex, and he's dealing with nuclear criminals, is what I wrote down, because
Just cartoons.
they're all like, one's a general, one's a arms dealer, and Lex Luthor's like, I'm gonna put you back in business, and his whole plan is to create a nuclear man.
Does he say that? 'Cause I didn't catch the name for a while.
I don't think he says nuclear man,
Okay.
but he does say he's gonna create new life with Superman's DNA, and they show him sciencing it up and stuff.
Yeah, it was like the hair follicle, and it's just like a little. It's weird.
That he
Very
turned
weird.
into this little splooge kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain that little
Mold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're lost for words, Steve. You have to see it to believe it.
So, anyway, then we cut to, like, I guess a military base where soldiers are marching, and then Lex just walks by some soldiers and gets in line with the military soldiers.
He's got the same outfit as the military guys. They just him and I guess his nephew, whoever else, and they just walking on in.
Him and the nuclear criminals.
Yeah, it's like it's just so cartoonish and so. This is something you would see the Joker do. Like Lex Luthor has so many costume changes in this movie alone.
Well, maybe classic Joker, not nowadays Joker, but...
Well, yeah, it's classic like Batman animated movie X show and all that.
But, like, he even tricks these trained soldiers to thinking he's a general.
Yeah, by spouting some bullcrap.
Anyway, he attached his Superman hair thing to the rocket, nuclear rocket that's about to be shot into space where Superman's going to throw it into the sun. And he tricks them, the bad weather was going to prevent it, and he orders them to fire it, and then they fire it, and then Nuclear Man is born through bad special effects.
Oh, but I loved. It was like the most 80s metalist thing I've seen ever. Like the birth of a true, like, this is how a superhero should be born, because this nuclear weapon was flown into the sun and exploded. And you see this radioactive fetus being grown from a fetus to a teenager to a human. And it's like, this is so crazy and so cool. It's just, this is selling me. I love this.
Like, you're a fan of Nuclear Man?
I actually am. I like this character. I like the idea of this character a lot.
And his super long nails.
Oh, we'll get to those. Like, I'm going to scratch you. Yeah, we'll get to those later.
Anyway, Clark is exercising with Lacey.
Doing some yoga and stuff.
Yeah, because apparently she wants to do articles with him about the life of Metropolis. It was just an excuse to get him out on dates, essentially.
Again, I like that she's actually trying to shoot her shot with him. It's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, but, I mean, the exercise scene is just, Christopher Reeve at his best Clark Kent.
Yep, just clumsying it up and hamming it up. He's a good actor. Miss the dude.
Yeah. So, Lex has some weird kinks.
You noticed this too, right?
Because we cut back to his hideout, and he's dancing with some woman dressed in, 18th century dress.
Yeah, and this is so creepy.
It's so strange, and they kind of just brush right past it because Nuclear Man comes home.
Yeah, hold on. Before we walk past, before we brush past it, is that a thing in the comics? Like, is there a period in time where Lex Luthor was this eccentric weirdo?
I had not read the extensive Superman lore. Oh, maybe.
Okay, because I know he's gone through as every character in the comic books, has gone through multiple iterations. So I was just curious, because through these movies he's gone from weirder to weirder to weirder. I was just curious.
I will say,
yes,
that comic books in the 70s was a weird time, so it's entirely possible.
Okay, I just want to know how canonical this was.
I don't know. I'm not as caught up with Superman as it is. I've read pretty much everything from 2011 on. I've read a lot of the 90s stuff, and some of the 80s stuff. I haven't really read a lot of the early stuff.
Okay. Because, man, yeah, Luthor in this is just, he's something.
Well, he's been something throughout the entire series, which is a really big annoyance. Why do they keep going with Lex Luthor? Why didn't they choose a different villain by this time?
I was kind of relieved to bring him back, because the last movie, who was the last movie?
It was a nobody. It was a Lex Luthor ripoff.
That's why I was kind of like, if they're going to do a Lex Luthor-ish character, I'm glad they're doing him instead of a ripoff.
But my point is, Superman has so many great villains. We haven't had a different villain since Zod.
You're very true. I can't even argue that. Even the newer stuff is mostly Luthor, isn't it? Or the newer stuff as that time of recording, I guess.
Well, what you mean, like Superman versus Batman?
BVS was Luthor, I guess.
It was Doomsday, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, but Luthor kind of kicked it off.
Right. Man of Steel was Luthor. No, it was Zod.
Zod,
right?
Okay. But before that was Superman Returns, and that was Luthor.
That was Luthor, because that was kind of a reboot, though.
Yeah. It's more often than not, it's Luthor. So it's like, I guess we gotta take it, huh?
Zod or Luthor, apparently.
Yeah, wow. Come on, Hollywood. Do better, guys. Just do better.
Yeah, Superman's kind of got a short end of the stick, or at least his villains do. So, Nuclear Man comes home, and he's like, I don't need to listen to you, Luthor. And Luthor's like, I could destroy you. And he's like, oh yeah, watch this. And he uses his powers on Luthor's nephew, which does absolutely nothing. His powers suck in this.
Now, to be fair, like, what does his nephew is like spins him around very, very quickly, like, oh.
But every time he uses his powers on a human, he like floats them up in the air.
Yeah.
Or something. He never does any damage to any real living person. It's always destroying some object or something.
And now what I was thinking, I guess I've seen so many dark movies, I figured, okay, Nuclear Man, Power of the Sun, etc., etc., etc. He would do like nuclear radiation poisoning to people or something, like really sickly or something.
Oh, you had too much high hopes.
I did. Like, I was like, are they going to go dark with this? Like, how gruesome this is going to be?
No, instead, he gets turned off when he walks into the dark.
Yeah, he's got Superman's like Power of the Sun weaknesses like to the extreme. The second he gets like no sun, he's just powers down. Oh, let's describe how he looks first off. He looks like an 80s wrestler, and he has the voice of Gene Hackman of Lex Luthor in this movie. And he's got long fingernails that are gray, I guess. He's got a orange and black ugly ass suit and a big mullet haircut kind of thing going on. He's pure 80s wrestling.
All right, from there we cut over to Clark's date with his two girlfriends.
I hated this. I hated this so much. I hated every second of this. I was like, why are we doing this?
It's such a sitcom joke where they're having a double date with Lois and Lacey with Clark and Superman. And you hated it, but I liked Christopher Reeve in his role, and I could watch a sitcom with him.
You know what? I will give you that, because he plays both parts so well. It's infuriating how well he does this shit.
Like, I have the scene playing right now, and he's like trying to get in the elevator with Lacey, and he gets pushed away by a luggage cart, and he seems so helpless, but it's so perfect.
It is. Like, he's a good actor. He was a great actor. But the reason I hate this trope, because again, you said it's a trope, I've seen it so many times. Like, ugh, are we doing this for the next 5 minutes?
Because of who was playing the roles, I liked it.
I can give you that.
But yeah, and it's just silliness, the whole time. And then Lex Luthor uses his signal that he used in, the first movie?
Yes, the high pitch.
They pretended they created for this movie because which he didn't.
He calls it Lex TV, I think, right?
Yeah. But anyway, Lex said he placed the bomb in the building across the way. And apparently, Lex Luthor just gave Superman his hideout location because there was no bomb. He just wanted Superman to come and meet Nuclear Man.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the conversation between Lex Luthor and Superman is so bad. Like, Lex says something and Superman's like, you must be going delusional, Lex. It's like Superman's lines are so stock to Lex Luthor's villain monologue. It was so poorly written.
Honestly, I feel like Superman from this point out became very stock footage, stock dialogue-esque.
Well, we are halfway through the movie, so maybe Christopher Reeve just gave up.
Yeah. Well, he's doing good. I'm saying the dialogue in general, what he's got to deliver. It's like, man, I feel for you, Reeve.
We get Superman versus Nuclear Man. Fight 1. And, they're flying around. They go to the Great Wall of China where Nuclear Man breaks it. And I guess Superman has the ability to rebuild things with his mind.
Yes.
Because he magics the bricks back into place. No, I'm sorry. He rewinds the footage back into place.
Yep. They just go back in place, and the Great Wall's fixed again.
And then, they go into space and fight a little bit.
Nuclear Man turns him into an ice cube, turns Superman into an ice cube.
And then goes down to a dormant volcano. It causes it to explode like a science experiment volcano. It looks so fake.
Yeah. It had budget issues in this movie, and he gets... Over the course of this film, it becomes blatantly obvious where they start cutting corners.
Right, because the lava in this looks like shit. The special effects look shit. The eye lasers that he used to cut the mountain to put into the volcano look like shit.
The flying sequences there's literally them in front of a green screen with their arms up in the air. It's terrible.
And by the way, lava doesn't work that way. You can't just stand right next to it and step aside of it and not get hurt.
Oh, you can. Have you not seen the footage of the recent volcano that's going up?
No.
Oh my god, people got so close to it as lava was pouring out and just taking pictures of it.
Okay, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong, man. Come on.
I thought it was super heated and it would cause,
No, people got so dangerously close to this damn stuff.
Okay, so I stand corrected.
Yeah. Marcus 1, TJ 1000. I'm getting close, guys. I'm getting close. He blows his freeze breath onto the wall, to lava, and all hardens up. Then he throws the top of a mountain into the volcano to plug it up, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, so apparently Superman not only knows Russian, but he knows every language. He must have had a lot of time on his hands.
Well, no, to be fair, I figured my logic, my headcanon, he learned most of these languages while in his spaceship to Earth.
So, how did the Kryptonians know all the languages?
Listen, they knew, when we were talking about the last episode, they knew our math and there's some dumb shit they should never have known.
No, that was Argo. That was they live in this inner space under the lake. They were on Earth.
No.
That makes no sense.
Not the Supergirl one. That was just a dumb one. But episode or Superman 1 or 2, his father said something oh, Galileo. They know who Galileo was or some shit. Why did they care what they know? They knew
why, if Krypton proves that there are more civilizations out there. Why are they focused on a backwater planet like Earth?
Yes, especially how low developed we are.
I don't know.
And also,
anyway,
I had a science question I was thinking the other day, actually. You know how you look at a planet, look at a star, it's usually a planet that's been probably dead for X amount of thousands of years?
Not necessarily. It's just the light that was broadcast from that point.
Yeah, but it could be a planet. Let's say it could be Earth that exploded or whatever, and we can still see that light from Jupiter or something. Could Superman still see Krypton's planet starlight?
Possibly.
Yeah. Okay. So he can still. What?
He would probably need a telescope, though, a really good one,
or just use his eyes because he's a very super person.
Well, yeah, because they go back to space and Nuclear Man tries to scratch Superman, but that doesn't work.
You see, well, it kind of. No, not up this part. Yeah, you're right.
Not yet, because Nuclear Man says, I'm going to go for the low blow. And he goes and he takes the Statue of Liberty.
Why? Because why not?
But Superman catches the Statue of Liberty and he's going to go put it back where it was. And then Nuclear Man finally scratches him and wins. So that is the end of Superman as his cape falls out of the sky. Not before he manages to put the Statue of Liberty back where it's supposed to be, though. Clark is hiding out in a motel for some reason.
I thought it was his apartment.
So did I at first, but then I noticed the motel sign.
Oh, okay.
But he's hiding out and no one's heard from him, so Lois magically knows where he is and breaks into his motel room with a credit card, she's a criminal, but okay.
She's a journalist, get it right.
Is there a difference?
I'm not gonna touch that one.
Anyway, Clark's sick from the scratch.
He's definitely sick. Because did they ever explain it? Why he's sick from that?
No.
Man, this movie's stupid.
I'm not even sure if he lost his powers. He just seems sick.
Yeah.
And you would think someone who is, powered by nuclear energy in the sun being scratched by a nuclear man would just make you more powerful, but...
Right?
Anyway, we gotta backtrack a little bit here. Because back at the Daily Planet...
hold on, you're right, because isn't the nuclear man mostly Clark Kent's DNA?
Yes.
Oh, this movie's so dumb. This movie's so stupid.
Anyway, we have to backtrack just a little bit, because back at the Daily Planet, Lacey's getting being given the Daily Planet by her father, even though she's starting to turn into a good guy because of Clark's influence, I guess. But the owner of it bought Superman's cape from some person who just happened to pick it up in New York City.
Yeah.
When they're in Metropolis.
Not even. Yeah, in New York City, or at the Statue of Liberty, it's a big tourist attraction. Like, it's such a small world, apparently, they will make it back its way back to Daily Planet. I would have kept that thing.
But anyway, apparently they paid for this cape, and Lois comes in and is mad about the new headline that Superman's dead, but she just takes the cape.
Yeah.
And they let her take the cape. They spent how much money on that cape? Like, what?
Like I said earlier, movie's got a movie. It's just got to go on. It's got an hour and a half to fill.
Lacey also tells off her father in this one that she wants to be a real journalist, and that's some thingy. But I bring that up because Lois gives Clark the cape in case he sees Superman, in case he needs it. And it implies that she knows that he's Superman in this moment.
Yep.
But it never comes back.
No. I guess that kiss isn't as powerful as he hoped it would be.
No, I told you, it's a shitty kiss. He's just a monster that likes to wipe people's memories. Back with Lex Luthor, he betrays his nuclear criminal friends and takes over their entire thing. I don't know. It was stupid.
Yeah, there's so many storylines in this that are half-assed and we just get rid of it.
And then
what was their
Clark
Sorry, what was their point? What was their motivation in this?
They wanted to be able to sell nuclear weapons again, and Lex Luthor allowed that to happen. But anyway, the sickness makes Clark get really old for 3 seconds.
Yeah, he got really he looked rough in this. He got bald patches on his head.
But it only lasts 3 seconds because I'm assuming he uses the crystal.
Yeah.
But we cut over to Nuclear Man seeing a picture of Lacey in it, and I guess he falls in love with her because he goes after her.
Is that the reason why he went after her?
I don't know. He sees her picture, and then he says, "Ooh, woman," and then goes for her, I guess.
Oh, man. I legit was on my phone at this point for a little bit. That explains so. I was like, okay, did Lex Luthor send him after her? Oh no, just that's the reason.
No, he's seen her picture in the newspaper and just went after her. That was it.
That is ridiculous.
Anyway, we get Superman versus Nuclear Man 2, where Nuclear Man blows up a bunch of things while Superman just watches.
Oh, this was a infuriating watch.
I mean, it's not like it matters. He doesn't hurt a single person.
No, but the line, I remember Superman saying, "Not the people, do something, you're Superman."
True, but he knows his powers does shit, so...
But at least you put up a fight, show people you care about them. He lays the Nuclear Man through the damn tower.
His Nuclear Man's powers are incompetent, so he literally melts a gun at one point. He picks some people up in the air. Superman uses his telekinesis to bring them back down. Anyway, Nuclear Man is defeated by an elevator.
Yeah, I wrote that in my notes. Elevator. Just elevator.
Because Superman tricks him into an elevator and there's no sunlight in the elevator.
How does Superman know that's his weakness? Because once he's in there, he just shuts down. How does Superman know this?
He said while he was sick, he had time to think and figure it out.
No, he didn't. Did he really?
Yes, he did.
Man, this movie's stupid.
He explains it when he's taking Luthor back to prison.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Anyway, so he takes the elevator to the dark side of the moon, which he timed that very poorly because the sun rises on that side of the moon, as soon as he drops him off.
Isn't that part, supposed to last for, 24 hours or something like that?
Yeah, I think so, because it rotates. Yeah. It goes around the Earth. So, bad timing on his hand, anyway.
Well, he'll fix that worry. Don't worry about it.
Anyway, Superman proves to us that the moon landing is fake.
How so?
Because he shows us that where the flag is, and if the flag's on a studio, they could have easily faked it, right?
Wait, what? Oh my god. I thought that took me a second. What studio is on the moon? Oh wait, movie studio, duh. I hate you.
Anyway, so he sees the flag, the American flag, and for a citizen of the world, he's very American patriot.
Well, America is the world.
Apparently, because he straightens out the flag just in time to get his butt kicked by Nuclear Man. Because here comes round 3 on the moon.
Oh man, this movie. The fight's not bad. No, it's bad. It's bad.
It's bad. At one point, Nuclear Man picks up a rock and dirt starts falling on him.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, isn't there no gravity? Shouldn't that dirt just float? I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that too, but...
Listen, this movie is doing as best it can, I guess.
And then Nuclear Man does his best Bugs Bunny as he knocks Daffy Duck into the moon by smashing them down.
Yeah, he like stomps Clark Kent into the ground, or sorry, Superman into the moon, just like hammering him down. I'm telling you, it's like a bad wrestling act.
And it gives him just enough Nuclear Man, just enough time to go get his girl.
Oh, so stupid. Oh God, you're right, because this gets even dumber at this point. Continue.
But, Superman escapes. Instead of going straight after him and possibly stopping it, he has the time to pick up the American flag and put it back in its place.
Make sure it stands up straight, there's no dust on it.
And then Nuclear Man brings Lacey into space, and she's dead.
Yep, she just dies.
And this is what I'm talking about. They bring a normal human into space. It makes sense maybe that Superman can breathe in space.
Yes.
I can even buy that Nuclear Man can breathe in space.
He was born
you can't bring a human being into space. She would explode.
Yep. Nuclear Man, why is he bringing her out there in the first place?
I don't know.
They literally just fly her out through all the atmosphere, the stratosphere, and all that stuff. And she's like, la-di-da-di-da.
So then...
This is the dumbest. This is probably the dumbest thing in this movie.
So then, Superman does what I said he could have done earlier. He moves the moon out of orbit, possibly destroying the Earth by disrupting all of our tides and stuff, to create an eclipse so that it depowers Nuclear Man, so that he can throw him into a nuclear reactor and power the rest of the world.
Say that again. Superman moved the moon to cause an eclipse, to knock out his enemy, to put him into a capsule, to power the rest of... That is the stupidest first draft thing I've heard in my life.
What, you never came up with that plan? You gotta create an eclipse of the moon and then throw your enemy into a nuclear reactor and power the world for whoever ever known?
I don't know what to say to that.
I do. So Perry White buys the Daily Planet.
They really do brush past all that, don't they?
Perry White buys the Daily Planet out from under the new guy, thanks to the generosity of the banks who just happened to loan him the money to buy enough shares to do this, because banks work that way.
Oh, man. I like this part, too. I remember him saying, he says his whole speech as he goes up the elevator and stands looking down at the guy and says, I own most of the shares and stocks now, so that makes you the minority shareholder. Like, he paused after minority. I think he wanted to say minority. I thought it was just funny. There's no black people in this movie. There's no black people in this movie.
Well, after the misery that was Richard Pryor in the last movie, can you blame him?
Yeah, you know what, yeah.
So, Superman decides to hold a press conference. How, when we really want peace, the governments will have no choice but to get rid of our nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You, Superman.
Yeah. I wrote down in my notes, Superman bullshit speech.
Sure, that's how the world works, Superman.
Oh, man.
You tell us how to live, Superman, because you know exactly what you're doing after almost destroying the world 3 times in this single movie.
No, he did destroy this world. I would love to see a realistic version of this movie.
He has enough time to go find Lex Luthor and the nephew who's driving away. He drops off the nephew at a reform school, I guess.
Yeah, because that's stupid.
We didn't really bring up the nephew at all, but he's has like a surfer dude attitude.
Yeah, just like a yo bro kind of stuff. Ditzy.
And he is currently playing Lex Luthor in the Supergirl show.
No, he is not.
Yep, John Cryer, the nephew in this, is Lex Luthor.
No way.
Yep, and he's amazing.
You shut your mouth.
He's probably one of the best Lex Luthors I've ever seen.
What the heck? That is ridiculous.
I mean, the Supergirl show is really hit or miss, honestly. It's been a lot more more lately, but Lex Luthor is usually pretty good in it, and he's really good at it.
What? I'm really, lost for words right now.
Gene Hackman, Lex Luthor, gets put back in his prison, and then we end with Superman going to space, which I think is fitting, because Superman ended in space with this movie series after it starts in space all the time.
Yeah, that's a good book ending right there.
Yep, a great book ending. And that was Superman 4 and the Superman series.
Woo! Man, that was a letdown of a movie, wasn't it?
Oh my god, that was such a terrible movie.
I was honestly on board for the longest time, up until a certain point, and it's like, okay, this is getting stupid. Checking the watch, phone. And then they got into space, okay, this is really stupid.
At about the 50-minute mark, I was checking the time at every 10 minutes.
That was your point, 50 minutes?
Yeah, and I was like, man, this movie is very preachy, and these people do not know anything about politics and should not be talking about it.
No, it's like a high schooler made this or something.
Yeah, the writing is so bad in it.
So bad.
Ah, man.
Like, there was nothing enjoyable. And I mean, it had some things I liked.
Right, I mean, it's still a Superman movie.
Yeah, with Christopher Reeves, his last performance, great, fantastic, like always.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh,
But overall, this is the worst one, easily.
Yeah. And I didn't want to say that, but yeah, it really is.
And it's a 4 for me, easy.
4? Okay. I gave this one a 3. It's like on par. It's on par with Supergirl.
Well, I gave Supergirl a 4, too.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. We're like brothers, man.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. That's such a bro thing to say, man.
Nope.
Whatever, big brother.
Anyway, so yeah, that was Superman 4. So, what do you think overall of the entire Superman series after you... So this is your first viewing, right?
Yeah, are we including Supergirl or just the men movies?
It's sure. Let's include all 5 movies, because technically they're all canon with each other.
Oh, man. Honestly, they're movies. There's that. Let's get that fact out the way. They do start off strong, and they do wilter out by the end. But what's up?
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did you regret watching them? Are you glad that you finally got to watch them?
That's a question for sure. Do I regret watching the Superman? I don't regret watching them, but I'm not glad I watched them either.
No.
I was glad I watched the first 2, because they were really good.
Yeah, I mean, but even just watching them to see how bad they got.
Because to be fair, like even the bad ones, like even this and Supergirl, they weren't atrocious. They weren't like, oh, claw my eyes out bad. Because we'll get to those movies later on this list. So, like, overall, this isn't a bad series.
And no, they're bad movies for Superman movies, you know what I mean?
Yes, but for comic movies overall, we're going to see worse. We have...
Oh.
Yeah. There's just...
That's why I saved my 4 with Supergirl for lower, so I can have some lower numbers.
Oh, I have my 1 and 2s out there still, and I know what they're going to go for, too. But yeah, overall, this is definitely a series I would definitely recommend to someone who hasn't seen these. Because they're enjoyable. They're definitely enjoyable. They're fun, they're campy, they're stupid. And
they're history making and should be watched as far as movie, if you're a movie fanatic goes.
Yes. So, and I would honestly say, if you don't want to watch them, at least watch one of them just for see Christopher Reeves do the best Superman and Clark Kent you'll ever see.
Yeah, agreed. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad that we're through this section of it.
Yes.
But it was nostalgic to go back and rewatch them.
Yeah, because you have seen most of them, correct?
I've seen all of them, but it's been years and years and years.
Okay. Would you say they hold up at all? At least the good ones?
Well, I think they all actually hold up as Superman movies. They're not really time capsules.
Okay.
Except for, Nuclear Man's 80 design.
Yeah. But yeah, honestly, I'm thinking about you. You're kind of right. They aren't really like products of their time, if that makes any sense.
I mean, the only thing that really dates them is the fact of the technology they had to use back then.
Yeah. Oh, I guess Superman 3, the whole computer thing.
Yeah, the computer thing was a little dated, but, what are you going to do?
Exactly. Well, yeah, besides
technically, you could still have that story and not be dated, because we're just run by computers these days anyway, so...
Oh, yeah, it'd be an interesting storyline, I think. Kinda.
Redo that story with Brainiac as a villain.
Oh, God, so good. He's so good.
I don't know. But yeah, it's a kind of an end of an era kind of thing,
Yeah, because what's next for us?
They can find that out when they watch the next episode. Screw them.
Yeah. Screw them, guy. Well, let's do that again.
No, let's not. Just stop the recording.
No, we're going to do this again. Screw them.
Stop the recording.
I'll stop you.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to read my notes.
Right? Better, man.
I cannot read this to save my life.
I guess it's not worth reading then, huh? Move it on, buddy.
I think it says Superman's hard? Superman's...
Hair. His hair, man.
Oh, you're right.
Yes, I know I'm right.
That's funny that you knew it. So, yeah, okay. That makes way more sense.